Today I will explain how to do a bubble sort.
So what is a bubble sort? Well, it's a simple algorithm that will repeat multiple times until a list is fully sorted. Okay, so how do we do it? We begin by looking at the first two cards in our list. Throughout the sort, we will only be comparing the two cards that are right next to each other. Take a look at the value of the two cards. So 5 and 4. If the card on the left is greater than the card on the right, then we will swap those two cards. Otherwise, we will leave the cards be and shift one over. Is 5 greater than 4? Yes, it is. So that means we will swap the two values. The 5 goes to the position of the 4, and the 4 goes to the position of the 5. Now that we have compared our first two values, we will shift over to the next two values. So 5 and 2. Just as we did in the last step, we have to compare the values of these two cards. If the card on the left is greater than the card on the right, we swap. Otherwise, we leave it be and move on. Is 5 greater than 2? Yes. So we will swap these two cards. 5 goes to where 2 was, and 2 goes to where 5 was. Now let's look at 5 and 9. Is 5 greater than 9? No, so we will not swap any cards. Leave the list be and move on. 9 and 3. Is 9 greater than 3? Yes, so we will swap those two cards. Now, I know what you're thinking. You've gotten to the end of the list, but why isn't it in order yet? Well, that's because we have to repeat the process a certain amount of times. And how do we know how many times to repeat the process? Well, the answer is it depends. In a bubble sort, the number of times we pass through the list is one less than the length of the list. In this case, our list has 5 cards, so we repeat the process 4 times. We've already completed it 1 time, so it looks like we have 3 more runs to go. Run number 2. Looking at 4 and 2, is 4 greater than 2? Yes, so we're going to swap those two cards. Now 4 and 5. 4 is not greater than 5, so we do not swap any cards. 5 and 3. 5 is greater than 3, so we swap the two cards. Finally, 5 and 9. 5 is not greater than 9, so we do not swap any cards. Leave the list be. On to run number 3. 2 and 4. 2 is less than 4, so we're not going to swap anything. 4 and 3. 4 is greater than 3, so we will swap the two cards. 4 and 5. 4 is less than 5, so we don't swap. And finally, 5 and 9. We do not swap because 5 is less than 9. I know the list is in order, but we still have 1 more run to go. Run number 4. 2 and 3. 2 is less than 3, so we do not swap. 3 and 4. 3 is less than 4, so we don't swap. 4 and 5. 4 is less than 5, so we don't swap. And then 5 and 9. 5 is less than 9, so we don't swap. You've officially gone through 4 runs of the sort. Congratulations, you've completed a bubble sort. Now grab a deck of cards or make your own cards to see if you can do it on your own.